Live from WFSB, Connecticut's first choice for news. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 5.
Governor Jody Rell tonight has set out a comprehensive plan for changes in the state's parole system. Good evening, I'm Al Terzi.
And I'm Dennis Howe, sitting in tonight for Denise DeCenzo. This comes just days after the governor announced parole restrictions for all future violent offenders in our state. It's our big story this Monday night on Eyewitness News at 5. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Len Besthoff is live tonight outside the state capitol with the mobile newsroom. Len?
Well, this is a very detailed list that the governor came out with just a few hours ago, changes to the state's parole system. This coming after a troubling series of events in recent months, the most recent one happening just a few days ago. New York police shot Connecticut parolee and carjacking suspect James Biggs when they said he went after them with a kitchen knife early Friday. Biggs had apparently been granted parole, which was revoked, then granted again. And he was not being electronically monitored, which at the time was news to parole board head Bob Farr.
I'm not in charge of the field supervision, and I'm not exactly sure what happened.
Governor Rell has been angered by several incidents involving parolees in recent months, including dozens of home burglaries allegedly by a parolee in Cromwell, and a pair of parolees accused of a home invasion and murder of a mother and her two daughters in Cheshire.
We are in the process right now of rebalancing the entire corrections system as far as violent offenders and, of course, those people who are awaiting parole.
Among the changes by the governor and the Department of Corrections, suspending future parole for violent offenders, a thorough review of current parolees and those about to be released, revoking parole for even technical violations, plus limiting parolees in halfway houses to only leave for work, treatment, or religious services. A company overseeing more than a half dozen halfway houses says the governor's changes make things more difficult, but are certainly workable and a prudent move. Now, a leading state legislator says some of these changes to the parole system trouble him because of what they could do to the prison system as far as overcrowding. We'll be telling you about that coming up at 6. We're live at the mobile newsroom at the Capitol. Len Besthoff, Channel 3, Eyewitness News.
All right, thanks, Len. Two state senators are speaking out tonight against the governor's planned veto of bonding legislation that affects the Naval Station New London. They met about an hour ago near the main gate of the sub-base in Groton. And that's where we find Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Dan Kain standing by with the latest with the mobile newsroom. Dan?
Well, Dennis, the $3.1 billion bonding proposal, which the governor has said she would veto, includes a lot of items. One of those items, $40 million in infrastructure improvements at the subbase. That was part of the deal the state struck with the feds when they were fighting to keep the subbase open. When the state was negotiating with the federal government over the possible closing of the subbase, part of the deal was $40 million in infrastructure improvements pledged by Connecticut. That money was in the bonding package passed by the legislature in special session last week, which the governor has announced she will veto. A veto would kill the state's obligation in the deal.
But the bond bill has to take care of all of the needs of the state of Connecticut. And saving this sub-base and providing this investment is very important. That's what the bill does.
The argument here is that a relatively small item like $40 million is a very small sort of insurance policy against the closing of the base. When the Base Closure Commission looks at operations like this, they want to know how much is the state doing, how much is the local community doing. The fear is that this will signal that the state doesn't really care that much about the sub-base and infrastructure. Also, that's $40 million, not necessarily to be spent, but a bank account to be used as needed. So this thing has a ways to go before it plays out. Dan Kain, Channel 3.